Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. Today, I'm joined by a guest that I found on Instagram. I've been following her since, I don't know, like February of this year, last year, some point. I'm not sure. But I am excited to get to talk with her today. I have Kay Kay, but you might know her by her Instagram handle as that1girlkaykay. Kay Kay, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I am absolutely excited to have you. In fact, I was scrolling through your Instagram today to find out, like, what was that cosplay? What was the thing that somebody shared and was the first thing that I liked? And I had scrolled all the way back, and it was you as Spinelli from Recess.
Oh my goodness.
Back in February of 2020. So it's been a long time that I've been following you and watching your content.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I absolutely love when people do cosplays from like animated shows of, like Disney animated shows. And it's just like, it brings back such great memories.
Yes, that's why I love to do it. It's one of my favorite things too, to cosplay nostalgic characters and just shows and kind of bring back a piece of your childhood.
It just gets you. Like, you see it and you're like, dang, like, I can't believe somebody loves that character as much as I did.
Right? Or it's just like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that show.
Right? Like, I've had that with a few other people where they cosplayed as a character. I'm like, I absolutely forgot about that show. But you have a lot of great work. We'll be talking about your cosplay near the end of the podcast. But you have a number of different fandoms that you're into, and we're going to dive right in and talk about anime.
Perfect. That's one of my favorite things to talk about.
How did you get into anime? Was it like Cartoon Network? Was it just somebody showing you something and being like, hey, you need to check this out?
Honestly, I think I got into anime before I even knew it was considered anime. I was just watching like animated series, and I just remember completely loving it. And it wasn't until maybe middle school or high school was when I first found out what I was watching was actually anime.
Okay, I can understand that, especially like I'm old, so I remember like watching anime like on videotapes and friends saying like, "Oh, you need to check this out," and go to Blockbuster and go to the anime section, and it's like 10 tapes big, and but then it started coming over, and Sailor Moon came over, and all the shows came over.
Yes, I know you mentioned like, did I watch it on Cartoon Network? So to be honest, I don't even remember if it was, I think, so my very first anime was Fushigi Yugi, and I was living in the Philippines at the time. So like our networks in the Philippines is completely different. And I just remember watching it on there, and I can't even remember if it was in English or in Tagalog, but that's where I started, was watching Fushigi Yugi.
Okay. Is that one of your like core animes that you're like, I love this anime?
I do. Oh my gosh. I loved it so much that I had my mom and my grandma like drive me around Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines. And we went through like every mall, every store, just so I can get the box set of that anime. Like, that's how diehard I was for that show.
What is it about that show that drew you in, that keeps you to this day like remembering it?
Honestly, okay, so I'm assuming you probably haven't heard of it, because whenever someone brings up Fushigi Yugi, I get so excited just because it's one of those underrated anime that not too many people have heard of.
I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
Okay, so as far as what it's about, have you seen Inuyasha?
Yes.
So it's a very similar story plot where you have this junior high school student who basically gets sucked into an alternate world where it's like ancient. For this series, it's ancient China instead of ancient Japan. And she basically is considered a priestess in this alternate world. And then she has to go and find 7 celestial warriors so that she can get the phoenix, which is Suzaku, and grant her wish to go back home. So it's very similar in the aspect where she's in that world. She meets this teenage boy that's a little bit rough around the edges. She befriends him, and then they make friends along the way. They have a love triangle, and then she's also fighting against, you know, the main main enemy, who's also this good-looking guy. So it's very similar to Inuyasha. And back when I was watching Fushigi Yugi, I actually had never heard of Inuyasha. And then when people started telling me about Inuyasha, I actually didn't want to watch it because I was just like, oh, it sounds very similar to this show. There's not really going to be much of a difference, but there is. There's quite a bit of differences.
What hooked you on Fushigi Yugi? Like what is the thing that you keep coming back to and it's like that's the draw?
For me, I'm really huge on shows where there's a lot of character development, and I'm also a romantic at heart. So this show is kind of like a romance comedy type of anime. And the character, she starts off as like kind of like a crybaby, just not doing too well in school, but then she makes friends and she kind of just develops throughout the series and becomes this independent teenage girl.
Okay. I imagine that there's a lot of characters. Are you more drawn to the main character or are you drawn to some other character?
For me, I am more drawn to the main character. Her name is Miyaka. Her and the main male character, his name is Tamahome. And Tamahome is like very similar to Inuyasha in a way. And they start off as just, like I said, rough around the edges. They meet the female character and they kind of grow and just become this like lovable character that you just ship the two characters together.
I love when you can just be like, hey, look, I got these ships right here.
Yes.
It makes it a lot easier when you're like, okay, I got them. Like you don't have to like make giant leaps or stretches and be like, well, these two could be together if X, Y, and Z happened.
Right. It's definitely one where everybody wants those two to end up together. But another thing that I love about Fushigi Yugi is I feel like, unlike some anime, it doesn't have too many fillers. So it's very straight to the point. Like the whole series is only 52 episodes. So you could literally binge watch it in 2 weeks. And at the end, you feel complete. It's not at like a cliffhanger.
I'm just trying to imagine binging it in 50 or in 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, 52 episodes, and I imagine that they're like 24 minutes long, maybe, or 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, maybe I could do that, maybe.
I know. Originally I wanted to say 1 week, and then my husband was like, no, at least 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and you're talking about a show that has filler, and we're going to be talking about that in just a minute or two.
Yes, that's what popped up into my mind when I said the word filler.
I do love shows. It's something that I enjoy with the shows that are coming out now, and even some of the animes that are coming out now, where it's like, okay, you have 10 to 13 episodes or 20 episodes, and like that's it. Like you don't have like hundreds of extra episodes. So for people that want to watch Fushigi, do you know of where it might be streaming, or should they just Google it? Like, do you know?
Yes, I'm so excited to share this with you. So if you want to watch Fushigi Yugi, you could find all the episodes on YouTube. But if you also have Amazon Prime, you can stream it on there.
Ooh.
Yes. So if anyone's checking out this anime and want to talk about it, feel free to slide into my DMs and talk about Fushigi Yugi.
Yes, DMs nicely. because not nice DMs get people in trouble.
Yes.
So, we hinted at this other anime that we're going to be talking about that has like a couple years of filler episodes, and but you're really into Naruto.
I am. I actually am finishing up my Akatsuki project. So I love Naruto.
Now, I remember when I was watching Naruto way back, way back, and I was living in Japan during the filler episodes before Shippuden started, but then I stopped. I just stopped. I couldn't keep up with it anymore.
See, I actually got very lucky. I didn't get into the fandom when it was airing on TV. So yeah, so I got to like binge it and skip fillers and just keep on watching it and finish like I got caught up within probably a year.
That's
But
some dedication.
yeah, I honestly, so when I was younger, I was super huge into Dragon Ball Z. I was diehard Dragon Ball Z fan. I didn't even give Naruto a chance. But it was my husband that got me into watching Naruto.
How did he get you into watching Naruto? What was his pitch to you?
I honestly don't remember if there was a pitch. I think it was just kind of, hey, we're sitting down, we're watching this today. And then after, you know what scene it was in Naruto that hooked me?
What was the scene? I have to know.
It was the scene Rock Lee versus Gara.
Oh my gosh! Okay. Because I was thinking of that scene because friends of mine on Twitter, previous guests, had posted on Twitter that is the premiere fight of any anime.
It was jaw dropping for me. I really loved that fight. Like watching it, the art style was great. I loved how Rock Lee was just persevering throughout the whole fight. And the part where he was standing up at the end and wanting to continue fighting and he was just not conscious, that really like tug at my heart. I was just like, this is an anime that I actually want to keep watching.
Absolutely. I love that. I remember watching it and they're like, he's like, "Oh, can I just take off the weights?" And like he drops the weights and they
Oh my
make that huge
gosh.
impact. It's like, "Oh my gosh, what?"
Yes. Like when he said, "Can I take off the weights?" I was just like, "What is that gonna do?" And then he dropped it, and like you said, it just made that. Oh yeah, that was a crazy scene. Like he has so many great moments.
He does. And one of the things that I love, and as much as I rag on like the filler episodes and stuff, they really develop like all the characters.
I agree. I definitely agree there.
And I have to say, like, everyone has like their favorite characters, right? Because it's such a huge ensemble show that you have to have favorite characters. And my love for Hinata and Shikamaru, like those are my two favorites.
Oh yes, Shikamaru has been my favorite since the very beginning, but only one character topped him for me, and it's
Who I need to know.
it's Minato.
Minato. I'm gonna have to Google it right now.
Oh, Boruto's grandpa, Naruto's dad.
Okay. Yeah, okay. See, the things that I don't remember or don't know.
No, it's honestly he doesn't make too much of an appearance in the show, but when he does make an appearance, he's just such a great character, like very powerful, and you just can't help but love him.
I guess I need to watch Naruto again because see, I know, Naruto has a dad and everything, and it's like okay, but at the same time, like it's like I don't know who this Minato character is. What is it about Shikamaru that you like?
I love his intelligence. Like he's just so smart in the way that he, what is it that I'm trying to think of? Like he makes a lot of plans for the group,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just I love how he crafts those.
Okay. I liked there was that one like I think they're chasing after Sasuke and like he's the leader of it. And I loved like how he's like, okay, you've got to do this and fight this person, and you've got to go do this and fight this person. And it always impressed me that he was like the leader, even though he's like, oh, it's so troublesome and annoying, and I just want to just be lazy.
Yes, one of his downsides is that he wants to be lazy all the time, but he's one of those characters that you can kind of, you know, that you can count on. I mean, he ends up being Naruto's right-hand man, especially like when he becomes Hokage. So that just proves how smart and how reliable he is too.
So you've watched all the Naruto, like Naruto Shippuden, and then Boruto.
I actually haven't watched Boruto.
Okay.
But I nothing against it. I actually would watch it. I just haven't. And it I loved Naruto so much. I just feel like it would be exciting to watch them like kind of I know I started it just a year or two ago, so it's not like I watched it when I was a child, but I
Mm-hmm.
just find it interesting to watch the characters that I kind of started watching be adults and have families and children.
Right, like that's the thing that when I saw images, I was like, wait a minute, Hinata actually ended up with Naruto? What? Like, I need to watch this now.
The only thing that becomes a little hard about it though is I feel like when Naruto Shippuden finally ended, they already had so much power and like the war at the end. I just didn't think there was anything that could beat that. I mean, from what
Mm-hmm.
I hear, Boruto has like other, I guess, villains more like from out of space, maybe. I'm not sure if you've watched it or not.
I haven't.
So
I
I don't know if
haven't
that's
yet.
true or if it's just a rumor, but I was just like, oh, that's interesting. It's different, I guess.
Yeah, that is definitely the thing where it's like, okay, you make your character so powerful, like at a certain point, like what are you gonna do?
Yes. Like I think it would have been great if they had done Boruto of more of like maybe three AMVs or just three like movies as
Hmm.
them being adults or instead of doing a whole series.
Gotcha. I can understand that. It's definitely something where it's like, okay, at a certain point you got to be like, okay, that's enough.
Let's end it kind of thing.
Exactly. Now, I have to ask because I'm very curious before we move on, is what couple is your favorite in the Naruto universe?
In the Naruto universe, I know you don't remember him too much, but Minato and Kushina, Naruto's parents, are probably going to be my favorite couple. And then, let's see, Shikamaru and Tamari, maybe second.
Okay.
I want to say Naruto and Hinata, but I feel like they kind of just brought those two together at the end with the last movie. We didn't really get much of them kind of falling and courting each other kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely something where like when I saw them together, it's like, okay, that's awesome. But I didn't really see much in like when I like sometimes I read through like the Wikipedias and I'm like, okay, checking the plot stuff, but I don't see enough of like them interacting.
Yeah, like even with Shikamaru's relationship, he had more of an interaction. Like he's expressed that he had a crush on her, and then they kind of became a couple. Whereas Naruto and Hinata kind of like you knew that she liked him, but they didn't really. She never really expressed that until I guess the end when she was um, crocheting his scarf.
Okay, yeah, I remember watching a few of the first episodes of Shippuden, and it's like, oh, she's waiting for him to come back, and it's like, okay, I can understand that.
Do you have a favorite couple?
Well, I mean, I'm automatically in love with Hinata, so like Hinata's my main girl. I'm happy that she ended up with Naruto because that hopefully that means like she's happy. But I also like Shikamaru, and I like that he had that relationship with Tamari. So it could go either way.
Yeah, we could definitely agree because I mean, like you said, Hinata, she's best girl, and then she ends up with best boy. So they're definitely, I can see why people love them the most.
I'm just gonna have to check out and see like who the other couples are, because I'm not too familiar about like what the other Naruto characters ended up with.
Well, they have Sasuke and Sakura.
See, and I didn't know like what was going on with Sasuke. Like I never understood what was happening with Sasuke. I didn't know if he died or came back.
Yeah, he's definitely a troubled boy.
Hmm. I can understand that. I mean, lots of things happen to him. On top of anime, we've got another broad topic that we're going to narrow down and talk about some specifics. But you play video games.
I do. Some would say I'm a PS4 addict.
Now, what is the draw? What's your history? Where did you first start with video games?
I think that my first video game was on the N64. I don't know if you ever heard of a game called Rampage.
Yep, I do.
If I'm remembering it right, you're just basically this like Godzilla monster and you're just smashing buildings.
Yes, indeed. It is like a sequel or a sequel or reimagining, because back in like the original Nintendo days, it was like bad graphics and grabbing people out of the windows and eating them and punching tanks and helicopters.
Oh my gosh, it's bringing back so many memories now.
Yeah, that was my game back in like Nintendo days.
Same. Now I'm kind of wondering if I had a little bit of rage back then. But that was the game that I started off with, and I kind of moved into more of like fighting games. Not a lot of fighting games, I guess to be specific. Super Smash Brothers
Okay.
is what I was playing a lot. And then a lot of the like Mario Party stuff like that. But more recently, like the past 5 years, I've been more on like the PlayStation.
What are the games that you tend to be drawn to when you're on the PlayStation?
So right now I'm really huge into Apex, which is honestly surprising for me. I never thought I would get into shooting games just because I'm very uncoordinated and I could not like do the whole first person shooter games, and I don't know, it just somehow happened.
I've seen a number of people play Apex. Like it's like Fortnite but different. It's like the whole squad. It's like squad based, right?
Yes, it's Battle Royale. So, you mentioned Fortnite. That's actually the game that got me into shooting games. Um, I tried that out. I got addicted to Fortnite for like 2 to 3 years. And then eventually they just kept adding too many updates to it that
Mm-hmm.
made it too, I would say, too busy. Like there was just too many things happening that I wasn't enjoying it as much anymore. And then my friends told me, hey, you need to check out Apex. And, it took a lot of tugging me back and forth to get me actually to try it out. But I ended up loving Apex. It just seemed more simple. When they update it, they don't really throw in way too many crazy things. So that's why I love it.
I know that my experience with with Fortnite was my kids were begging for years to like, please let us have it and play, and finally, like last year or sometime this year, I think I was like, okay, you guys can play, and it is definitely crowded with a lot of like I can only say wackadoodle stuff.
Yes. Like, I haven't been on it since I left, but from what I'm seeing, there's like spaceships and stuff in there now, UFOs, and that's just too much for me. Like, I just want to shoot people with my squad.
Now, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I say that, but then I can't do games like Warzone. I need to keep like that animated cartoony style.
Right, right. I can understand that. Now, with Apex, is there a certain character that you prefer to play over others?
Yes, so my main character is actually a character called Lifeline. Um, she's basically, I'm not sure if you've played Apex before, but um, each of the characters have their own like special abilities. And for this one specific, she's basically a healer. So she can, when a player gets knocked, you can throw down a drone and it picks them up while you're still able to fight. So I really like playing as her. I'm one of those people that I guess I don't like to be like the front center of attention. I'm more of like your support character. So I'm always going to play as a healer. Even when I'm not playing as Lifeline, I'm still trying to heal my teammates.
That'd be like my thing right there. Like I'm more of a support person versus a like the shooter person or the up in your face type person. Like let me hang back and do stuff. What is the draw? I mean, for Apex, is it like when you're playing? Is it just like the graphics or the camaraderie with like your team? Like, and do you play over like headset so you talk to them, or do you know who you're playing with?
Yes. So one thing that I think I really ended up liking about battle royale type of games is that you basically play as with a team. So with Apex, you squad up with, you could either do duos or you could do trios. And then you could either play with someone like another PS4 friend, or you can basically team up with a random. And I always play with a headset. The other person might not have a headset, but when they do, it's nice because we can actually communicate with each other. And I've made quite a bit of friends just being randomly paired with people, which is nice.
Well, that's almost shocking to hear because I know that a lot of like female gamers don't talk on the microphone and don't do the like squatting up unless it's with somebody that they know.
Yes, yes. Don't get me wrong. Like I sometimes still get nervous. Sometimes when I use my headset, I'll always have myself muted until I know that the other person's going to be nice. Because, there are going to be some people that are kind of mean. Before, like, people would always ask me, like, are you a female? And then they start throwing out kind of like sexist terms and stuff. But
Hmm.
when you have a nice group of people that you're randomly paired with, you could have good conversations, and that's when I start unmuting myself. But it just depends too. You just have some people that they're just playing because they want to relax and play a game after they've been working all day, and then you have some people that are so into the game that all they care about is winning.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how some people do it with unmuting and listening to some of the stuff because I just hear it like on YouTube videos or people sharing it or even like people streaming it on Twitch, and I'm like, it's not cool. Now on top of Apex, I think that you're into a game that my kids are really into, or at least one of my kiddos is, and that's Rocket League.
Yes. I am surprised that I got into this game as well. It's just so different. You're combining like arcade style graphics with cars and soccer. Like it just doesn't make sense until you start playing and you're just like, wow, this is a fun game.
It is not only a fun game, but dang if it isn't like addictive, and really like even when I play sometimes I get like super competitive.
Yes, it's definitely a competitive game. I mean, it's pretty much soccer. But they have other modes too, which is pretty cool. Like they have hockey on there and they have basketball.
Oh dang, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, like the main mode is soccer, but you can also play those other two modes.
Oh, I'll have to load it up and check it out because I guess my son was holding out on me and not telling me about stuff. I just love that, like, I can be terrible at the game, but still somewhat competent.
Yes. So another great part about Rocket League 2 is that I feel like it has more of a balanced level of gaming, I guess. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. In the aspect that it's more balanced. So if you think of games like Apex, you have to choose characters, and depending on your characters, you have different types of strength and weaknesses. Whereas in Rocket League, you have the same type of car that everyone else is going to have.
Exactly. And then the only things that you get different is like power ups. If it's like one of those wacky ones, like I saw my son doing one where it's like he could freeze the ball or like teleport to the ball, and it's like I don't know what's going on, but okay.
Oh yeah, so that one's actually a extra mode. So it's not in the normal um gameplays, I guess. The one you're talking about, I think it's called Chaos.
Okay.
And that's basically what it is chaotic, cuz you, like you said, you get these power-ups and stuff every like 20 seconds. But other than that, like the regular modes, everyone's balanced, and the only difference is your skill level. Like if you know how
Mhm.
to use your car, how to do certain flips, and how to get to the ball faster.
I'm like, let me just drive all over the place and aim towards the ball and see what happens.
Yes, and sometimes you don't even have to aim for the ball, just aim for the other cars and boom them.
There you go. Yeah, you can knock them out.
Yeah, if it was real soccer, you'd be fouled all the time.
Oh my goodness. Now with you with you being on the PlayStation and everything, are there games that you're like jonesing for that you're looking forward to coming out?
Honestly, I don't really look into what's coming out anytime soon. I'm one of those people that when I find a game I love, I'm kind of just playing it until like I get tired of it. So I'll probably keep playing Apex and Rocket League. I'm trying to branch out a little bit, so I've been playing a little bit of like Genshin Impact, um, and a couple other games, but I haven't really seen what's coming out in the next couple months, though.
Okay. I mean, I've been playing the same game for like 10 years, so I'm right there with you. It's more like it's I know how to play the game. I'm pretty good at it, so I'm just going to keep playing it. And these new games, they're all fancy pants.
Well, for me too, the one of the main reasons why I like Rocket League and Battle Royale games is because it's very quick pace. Because I'm a working adult, so when I get home, I only have like 1 to 2 hours maybe to play video games on days where I'm not doing chores and housework. So I like games where they're more fast paced, and I could just play it really quick, get into another lobby, play another round. Whereas there's other games where if I'm doing like storylines, it takes too long and you have to like invest into the game, and I just don't have the time for that.
Oh my goodness. Yes, there's always this constant discussion that I have with some of my other friends where it's like they need an adult mode where it tells you like the controls and what happened last time when you saved, like what you were doing and what you need to be doing, because I love my Final Fantasy games, but at a certain point, like, I can't play for 2 or 3 hours to get to the next save point.
Yes, that. See, if they make a game where they have adult mode, just like what you described, then maybe I could get more into those type of games.
Yeah, like last time you were doing X, Y, and Z, and here's the controls and how to play again.
Yeah, it's just like a recap.
Yes, see that's what they need. When you load up a save, it can be like last time on video game.
I love it.
I'll have to pitch it and be like, this is what you guys need to do. Like, get it together.
You would make so much money if you pitch that.
One of the big things that has been happening lately, especially in like the world of fandom, is like almost like this resurgence and popularity of webcomics. And one of the webcomics that you're into is one that has been really popping the past couple years. And apparently has like a Netflix show coming out, and they're publishing an actual book of the comics, from the web, and that's Lore Olympus.
Yes, I absolutely adore that that web comic.
Now, how did you get into Lore Olympus?
Honestly, I got into Lore Olympus probably the same way just about everyone else did, where because I didn't even know about webcomics or what they were at the time. I just remember seeing a bunch of people colored like different vibrant colors, and I was just like, who are these people cosplaying as? And I had to look it up, and from there I was hooked.
That is exactly the same way that I found out about it. I was like, who are these people? They're like bright pink and yellow and blue, and they're dressed fancy and like in a like business boardroom type stuff. And I just started hearing about it and talking to people about Lore Olympus probably in the past year, or year and a half. But it's something that completely fascinates me to the point where if I have the time, I'm gonna try to like read through some of them.
Yes, and see, you mentioned time, and that's one of the things I like about Lore Olympus too. Is I feel like it's one of those comics that you don't have to do a lot of reading. Like it's more of the art, and then it has a little bit of like bubble text.
Hmm.
So it's something that you can just scroll through pretty quickly.
And that's always a good thing. And I know that just based on the art pieces that I've seen already, like I love the art style that they're doing.
It's so beautiful. It's just so aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Who is your favorite character in Lore Olympus?
My favorite character is probably going to be Hades. There's just something about him, like you, the king of the underworld, and he's just like this adorable, lovable gentleman that you can't help but be on his side for.
I was thinking is going to be either like Hades or Persephone, but I don't want to assume.
I mean, my favorite female character is gonna be her, our little cinnamon roll.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Now, are you all caught up, or are you one of the people that I know that like invests or does stuff so that way they get like the early access to it?
Oh my gosh, how did you know? Yes, I got so addicted to Lore Olympus that eventually one day I was just like, what the heck? Let me just pay the money to get that fast pass and see what's happening next. I think it was for a while I was able to just kind of wait, and then they left me off on a really big cliffhanger that I decided to pay the money and read ahead.
Oh my goodness, you dropping the money on it.
Oh, that's the first thing I've ever paid money on a phone app for. But
Wow.
yes, and then I eventually learned something, and I was able to download this app where I was getting points basically, and I could use those points instead of money. So now
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
reading ahead. Yeah, I'm reading ahead, and I played it smart because I'm not spending money anymore.
That's how the first person I think that when I talked about Laura Olympus, she had mentioned that she does that so that she earns like coins and stuff and she uses it to redeem it to get ahead.
Yes, that's what I do. So I don't spend money anymore, which I'm so proud of myself for.
Now are you looking forward to them branching out of the webcomics and doing like the Netflix show?
I'm very curious to see what the next Netflix series is going to be like. I didn't read too much into it, so I'm not sure if it's going to be live action or if it's going to be kind of like the cartoon style. But I do want to watch it. I know that when it drops on Netflix, I'm definitely going to be one of those people that makes it number one in the US.
Absolutely. I love that. I love when like you're like, bam, here's my show and it's number one. And it looks like it is going to be animated. I looked it up.
I feel like it's gonna be kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the house husband anime. I feel like it's gonna be kind of like that.
I don't think I've seen that, but I'll have to look that up and see what the animation style looks like. Okay, I could see that. I like that style. It's an interesting style. Then you just change them to the different colors.
Yeah, so they're just kind of gonna have the characters move a little bit, but it's like manga style still. I don't know how to explain it, but it's I can't see it being too much of a like a 3D type of show, I guess.
Okay. I guess we'll just have to wait. I don't even know when it's going to come out. Maybe next year if we're lucky.
I know, I'm really hoping soon. I've heard the rumor of it coming out like a year or so ago, and I've been excited ever since.
Now, on top of Lore Olympus, you mentioned that there's one like in your responses to me that you mentioned one that another person had mentioned to me a couple weeks ago, which is Spirit Fingers.
That makes me so excited that someone else also talked about it, because I feel like it's kind of an underrated webtoon that not too many people have heard of either.
Yeah, let's see who recommended that. Let's see here, Lore Olympus, because I know who it was. Let's see here. Kendra, I think it's Kendra that did it. Princess Mahogany. I think she mentioned Spirit Fingers. I might be wrong, but I think she mentioned that. So what's up with Spirit Fingers? What is that kind of webcomic?
Okay, so Spirit Fingers, I want to start off with saying that it's a little bit different than Lore Olympus in the aspect of the writing style. So I mentioned previously that Lore Olympus is it's more art and a little bit of text, whereas Spirit Fingers is like the opposite. Like, I mean, you still get a lot of beautiful art and stuff, but there's so much reading with it, like so many text bubbles. I remember like the first episode that I was reading of it, I was just like, I don't think I could do this. It's too much reading. But I'm so glad I stuck with it because it's so good. It's basically one of the stories about it's about a high school girl who's just has very low self-confidence. She's not really popular, and she's just basically studying all the time, trying to become like better in her studies so she could be like her genius brothers. And she stumbles upon this art group who call themselves the Spirit Fingers. And from there, she kind of just befriends them, and she meets up with this art group every weekend. And she just basically builds friendships with them and kind of learns to love herself. And then along with this character development, you also get like a bunch of comedy in the webcomic, and you also get this wonderful love story too.
Oh, that's really good. I love stuff like that. And you know, when I heard Spirit Fingers, the first thing I thought of was like, you know, Bring It On with like Spirit Fingers, and you can't see me, but I'm waving my fingers doing the Spirit Fingers.
I had the same exact thought. So I was surprised when that's not what it was about. I don't remember why they call themselves the Spirit Fingers. I remember like before each meeting, they always introduce themselves and like yell out their name and like do some kind of wacky move. And I can't remember if that's why they call themselves Spirit Fingers, but that's all I remember from that.
Out of curiosity, like how did you stumble across Spirit Fingers? Did someone recommend it to you, or did you just happen to find it?
Oh yeah, this is one that someone recommended. One of my friends heard that I was into webtoons, and she got super excited because, you know, at the time not too many people were reading webtoons, or it wasn't as popular yet. So when she found out that I also loved Lore Olympus, she started giving me all of these recommendations, and Spirit Fingers ended up being one of them.
Gotcha. See, and that's the best thing is when people recommend things to you because they know exactly like what will most likely like hit for you and be like, okay, this is going to be a good suggestion.
Yes, like whenever people ask me for recommendations too, and I find out they like Lore Olympus, I always recommend Spirit Fingers too, just because it's that romantic comedy style. And
Hmm.
it's pretty different too. So I feel like every person I've recommended it to have enjoyed it as well.
That's awesome. I'll have to check it out because I have a list of like web comics. It's like I think I could get through some of them in 30 minutes, an hour.
The best part about it too is it just recently finished. So it is a complete series that if you wanted to get into it, you don't have to worry about waiting.
Well, that makes it even better. That's wonderful. Now, Kay, on top of everything that you're into, anime and video games and web comics, again, the way that I found you was through Instagram, stumbling on your wonderful cosplay. And I have to wonder, how did you get into doing cosplay?
So I got into cosplay back in 2013 when I was still in college. It was actually one of my best friends. She was going to an anime convention, and I had never been to an anime convention at this time. I loved anime. We were actually a part of like the anime, what is it called? Anime club back in our university. I just had never heard of conventions back then, and I guess all of her friends had bailed out on her, so she like begged me to go with her, and I was just like, "What the heck? I mean, I love anime. Let's go." Um, and she actually was trying to convince me to do cosplays too. And back then, I also didn't know what cosplay was, so I was just like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm just gonna, make a little Game Boy dress and wear that. So, but then when she took me to the convention, my mind was blown. Like I just saw all of the cosplayers and just seeing the creativity and seeing everybody dress up as like my favorite characters at the time. I remember I was just geeking out and asking like so many cosplayers if I could take a picture with them.
Hmm.
And I think from there, after that weekend, I went home and I was just like, I just wasn't the same. I told myself I wanted to cosplay too, and I wanted to do the same thing.
What was your first like? What would you call your first official cosplay?
So I always go back and forth with two cosplays that I like to say as my first, um, because one of them I wore, and that's what people recognized me as for the longest time, and the other one was handmade by me. So the one that a lot of people recognized me as all the time was Pikachu. I wore Pikachu to every anime convention I went to that first year, so everyone just started calling me Pikachu, and so I tend to say that was my first cosplay, but I didn't really make it. Like my ears and my tail was actually gifted to me by one of my high school best friends. And then I just threw on like a yellow shirt and a yellow tutu. But my other cosplay that I like to say is my first one is Kita from Atlantis.
Yeah, Kita.
I remember hand sewing her costume, and like I actually didn't wear her too much because it was my first time sewing anything by hand, and I actually made the costume a little too small. So I didn't feel comfortable wearing it much more than the one time that I wore it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I'm for people that are listening, take a moment, click the link, pull up the KK's cosplay Instagram page so that way you can check out the pictures because there's a number of cosplays that are wonderful. The first one that I remember was obviously like Spinelli. Um, However, like your armored Espion, wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, do you like with the cosplays that you do now? Like, are you crafting them yourself? Are you like collaborating with people?
So I'm really huge into crafting cosplays, But, when the shutdown happened because of COVID, I was kind of stuck in the house. And in order to like kind of just fill my time, I started doing a lot of closet cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really big on like closet cosplay or even like budget cosplay is what some people like to call it, where I basically go to like thrift stores and try to find pieces of a cosplay that I think would work for the character.
Absolutely. And I know that I've talked with a number of people where like that's one of the things that is like the like on Instagram that catches my eye is like you're doing the character, but you're doing it in like your style or a different style that I'm not expecting. And I'm like that blows me away.
Yes, I've started picking up on doing that with my cosplays just because I know um that there's a ton of characters that I want to do and I just know I won't fit that character 100% to the T. So I'm like, well, if I can't look like this character, then maybe I'll put a twist to it to make it look a little bit more unique, I guess.
Right. And I have to say, your animated character game is wonderful. I mentioned the first one. Oh gosh, brain. Spinelli. But like Velma, Scooby Doo, Reggie Rocket, the Ashleys. Like you do wonderful characters that just get the nostalgia feels going.
Ooh, if you're enjoying those characters, just wait for the next couple weeks. I have a huge project that I want to do, and it's all about nostalgic characters.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, do you have a favorite cosplay, like one that you're like, you know what, this is like my thing. This is the best one that I've done.
Honestly, it's probably going to be the armored Espeon that you mentioned earlier. And for me, it's just because before I created Espeon, I was in awe of all the armored cosplay that I saw. But back then, I didn't know how to get into building my own armor. And then I met this girl who ended up becoming one of my friends, like one of my best friends, I would say. And she was so kind enough to show me basically how to get started. And we actually created Espeon and Umbreon together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we actually we built it in such a hurry though, and she ended up moving. We got a couple photos together, but we weren't able to get too many. And over the years, I just kept adding more to my Espeon to I guess just make it better. And
Mm-hmm.
what I post now, I think those the like photographer versions of my Espeon, that's like my latest version of it. And I'm
Okay.
so proud of it, and the memories I have building it with my friend, just nothing can compare to it.
And that like that with like the memories tied to it, just super powerful. It's like one of those things like, playing video games when you're young and you're at a sleepover and it's like that's like your video game for life like that, you're going to have that memory. It's going to be just awesome.
Yes, I agree. And like I said, like that cosplay would not have happened if she wasn't kind enough to show me how to get started with it. So that's kind of something I kind of wanted to do with my cosplays, or when I post things on Instagram, for instance. I tend to share like techniques or things that people can do that would help them when they're cosplaying too. I basically just want to share the wealth.
Absolutely. And that's something that I found with a lot of people that I record with is that they're very open, like on comments or DMs and asking, if people ask for help or, they share that advice and wealth of knowledge.
Yes, I love to do that. It's just I really love the cosplay community. And if I can be that person that can help someone else get into it and enjoy cosplaying, then I would love that.
Now, I do want to mention that I love your staff for the Umbreon cosplay.
Oh, my staff. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, the staff, yeah. Like it's just I like the the ears sticking out of it and the color, and it's just like it reminds me a little bit of like if Sailor Pluto was a Pokemon.
Come on. Believe it or not, like prop making is one of my favorite things to do too. I haven't done too many, but I really want to get into building more like weapons out of foam and just making more props.
Absolutely. And I see that you're going through like the Naruto Akatsuki. You said earlier like you're doing your Akatsuki project.
Yes, I just have two members left that I want to do, and then I'll start doing my next project, which is going to be nostalgic characters from childhood.
Awesome. Now, you got the project coming up, but you got a whole year coming up. Like, it's almost 2022. Do you have any like big cost plans, like any characters that you're like, I'm going to get this character done next year?
Um, I wouldn't say that I have any specific characters that's on my list that I want to absolutely do in 2022. I know that I want to cosplay characters like Inuyasha. I want to do a gender bent Inuyasha, and I want to do a little bit more characters from My Hero Academia. But one of the biggest things that I for sure want to do in 2022 is I want to finally do another armored cosplay.
Do you have any idea of what you'd like to do for your armored cosplay?
Well, for a while I was working on an armored Squirtle, um, and then I kind of just stopped at one point. I don't know if I want to get back into doing that or switch and do. I know at one point I wanted to do Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, so I might end up doing one of those two, or something completely different.
Okay. Now, out of curiosity, because I'm on your Instagram page, and I got hard hitting questions to ask. Do you self shoot on some of your pictures? Is that like you doing the self shooting for them?
Oh my goodness. So 95% of the time, yes. I unfortunately do self shoot most of my stuff. The time when I am not self shooting, it's my husband taking my pictures.
Well, I like the self shooting. I think you pull it off. Like I don't see like anything like I imagine like I can figure out where the clicker, the Bluetooth thingy is, but I think you do real well with them.
I appreciate it. I guess the only reason I was kind of bummed about saying that is just because I know that if I wasn't using the self camera, the quality would probably be a little bit better in my photos. But I have to work with what I have.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people, especially with last year and even this year, they did self shooting. I would see them in their backyard or in front of their front door, and or they set up a little area in their house to take pictures.
Yeah, the biggest thing with self shooting is honestly just going to be the editing. Like a lot of cosplayers, they have to heavily edit their photos, just and not in a way where they're like changing their appearance or anything. It's just so you can get like the colors right or blur out certain things that shouldn't be in the photo.
Yeah, I dig them. I love the side by sides that you do whenever you do certain characters. It's like it's just so wonderful to see. Like I personally love it. I love the stuff that you put out.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure. I really do enjoy your work. I've been a big fan, and I was like, I was so excited when you responded. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
I have such a huge smile on my face right now. I was so, what is the word I'm looking for? I was so grateful and appreciative that you invited me to do this podcast with you. Just because, like I said, this is a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's definitely my first time doing something like this. So I'm happy I was able to do it with you.
And I have to say, that is shocking to me because, there are certain people where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'd love for them to come on the podcast, but I'm sure they're so busy with other stuff and other projects. And how could this be the first time that somebody reaches out? Like, come on now, people. For people that have listened and they want to go check you out on Instagram or wherever you may be, what's the best places to find you?
So I'm pretty huge on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook, I'm Kay Kay Cosplay, which is, my main cosplay name that I go by. The only reason that it's not Kay Kay Cosplay on Instagram is because I kind of took a little break at one point, and when I made it, someone else had that username. So I had to be creative and make a new username. So yeah, that1girlkaykay is for Instagram. And then I made my TikTok name that same name, and my Twitter name, I just got Twitter, completely new to that, but it's Kay Kay Cosplay.
Oh yes, I remember when I saw the thing up for that you said that you're on Twitter. I was like, oh gosh, like I'm on Twitter a lot, and I like to call it the hell site because you can just stumble into things, and you're like, it just kills your spirit.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about it. I really don't know what to expect because I've not been on Twitter at all. So I just wanted a place where I could share my cosplay a little bit more. So I was just like, maybe I could do that and meet some more like-minded people, I guess.
I'm absolutely 100% positive you will meet like-minded people. Just Espeon armor on. All right. Well, I will have all the links in the show notes and on the website and on my Facebook page. So that way, if you're interested in checking out Kay Kay Cosplay, click on the links. It'll take you there. Make sure to hit the follow button and comment and share and fight that algorithm because the algorithm sucks.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it does.
And I just want to say, thank you for taking the time to hanging out with me and doing this and stepping out of your comfort zone. And I hope that, it was good and more people ask you to do this.
It was definitely fun. Better than I expected. I already knew that I was going to feel comfortable talking to you because I've listened to all your other podcasts and you're so welcoming. So thank you for even thinking of inviting me.
Oh, it was my absolute pleasure. I'm just happy you said yes.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.